If you're like me, you might have had to deal with a narcissist, which is not a very pleasurable thing. When you're dealing with them, it's not like dealing with other people. You can't expect them to listen to reason. You can't expect them to care about what you're really saying. They'll even act like they get it or they care or be compassionate at some points. They might even be sorry or cry and act like it matters to them when it doesn't. So the first thing is, don't take any of it as real. All they're operating out of is getting what they want. That could be calming you down. That could be getting you to make a decision. They're scanning for vulnerabilities. And they know how to play the game. If it's someone you're married to or it's a parent, they know how to read you. And they may alternate between being a victim, they may alternate between being aggressive, and have these little tactics and strategies that are so natural to them. Remember, this all came out of their desire to survive from whatever neglect they went through. It. I've always said this, have compassion for their past, but it's up to them to change their future. Now they've wired their brain in a very non empathetic way, which, as you probably already know, means they don't really care. What they care about is maintaining power, control. They don't like being exposed for who they really are. So, trying to be compassionate or understanding isn't going to work. They will actually just use that against you. Certain things they might do or say that you can recognize are things like, I'm sorry that when I did whatever, it made you feel that way. Not, hey, I'm really sorry I did this to you. It's, I'm sorry when I did X, whatever it is, it made you feel this way. Like they're still putting it on you. So what do? What you have to do is become a wall. Don't see any of it as real. Don't let them get a foothold. Act compassionate. And then they come back and do the same thing or worse. They gain power when you give them compassion. There has to be a wall. A wall is different things. Now, you're not married to someone, you're not in business, they're not a parent. Sometimes a narcissist, you can just cut off and just don't even, no contact, don't even reply to them, don't talk to them. But what you need to adopt is a mentality that what they're doing isn't real, and lower the intensity of their voice, the power they've had over you. They don't really have over you, they have the power that you give them. So, what you need is a firm boundary. For example, one narcissist I was in a relationship with, she would text me incessantly. There's always something wrong, there's always something. Then I just stopped replying, just no contact, or wait to reply. When I had to reply, I would just wait to reply. And actually, they stopped texting all the time. Now, I know in some cases, if there's like personal safety or whatever, you may have to play the game or play along till there's like a safe moment. And they may say things, blame you. They're going to put blame on you. You can come back with the most factual. I mean, I have replied back with their literal psychological issues and all the little nuances that I see them doing. The problem is they don't care. It doesn't mean anything to them. They're not going to do anything differently. And they like that they riled you up. They like that you, even if you said you have no empathy, da da da, you always do this, doesn't matter. They like that because they know they gained some power over you by eliciting an emotion. In some cases, with a narcissist, if they didn't get loved or get attention, they even try to get negative attention because the negative attention is a form of attention. And if they're not getting some kind of praise or negative attention or whatever, they almost feel out of place. They don't know what to do. They're never just sitting, thinking, enjoying life. They're empty inside. So what they're trying to do is feed off your soul, feed off your emotions, feed off your reactions, see if they still have some power. And that's why, like I said, you need to be a wall. You're not showing emotions. You're waiting to reply. You're coming with the facts, but not emotion. And in doing this, it will also help you because what happens is your nervous system gets wired to survival yourself, just trying to deal with being around these people. So also help calm your nervous system. For example, if you hear from them, you get a text, you get an email, you get some kind of communication, you run into them, right? You can get really uptight, you can get really anxious. Your body wants to avoid the pain and trauma that it dealt with before. But as you become a wall, as you cut them off, as you make them wait, as you don't respond and give them what they want, also it will calm you down and help you to learn to deal with them. And then in the future, you can spot these people better. And what you have to remember is if you've been with a narcissist, if you've attracted narcissistic people, could be a boss, right? It could be a relationship. There's something with you that probably doesn't have clear boundaries. There's something with you that probably doesn't stand up for yourself or maybe even value yourself, or you feel kind of less than, you feel broken, You feel some type of self-worth that isn't allowing you to just stand up and say no. And I get that they are very tricky and they're chameleons and they appeal to you. But once you learn this technique, now I've done this with other people where if I sense they're doing this, or someone I just met who's already seeming controlling or maybe making some accusations, it's like, hey, this is probably the tip of the iceberg. Cut this business relationship off, cut this other relationship off. Don't even engage with that person because it's just going to turn out bad. Remember, there's no rules for them. The only rule for them is winning, self, not being exposed. It's really around survival and self-preservation. And in some cases, they're willing to go far to maintain that, even again, operating out of what isn't even real or true. So this is not operating with a normal person. None of that matters. It's like if I'm going in to negotiate with a serial killer, right? Hey, why don't you stop doing this? They don't care. It doesn't matter to them. They're so far gone, it means nothing. So become a wall, become firm, have boundaries for yourself. And if you're compassionate and nice, that can feel mean, but the most loving thing you can do is a boundary because it protects you and it doesn't allow them to engage in that abusive behavior. So start becoming a wall. That's the biggest thing you can do. Respond less, reply less, don't show emotions, don't try to talk about how you feel, don't snap back because that's what they want.